it's Jillian. We're going to solve some equations now using fractions. Now, some people tell me they hate fractions. I got news for you. There's nothing that is a big deal about fractions. Fractions are a dividing question. If you can do 6 divided by 2 is 3, you can deal with fractions. So how about we just tell ourselves stories that serve us and help us instead of stories that make it more difficult for us. Okay? Now, a couple of things I want to point out. When there's nothing in front of the x, don't forget that's a 1. So this is the same as this, right? Because 1 times x is x over 5. So here's, I just want to make sure you know that. So here we've got this equals this. So there's 2 ways of looking at this. I'll talk about both and then you can do whatever you wish. One way of looking at it is when we have, just like before, when we had multiplying on one side, we divided on the other side. When we added on one side, we subtracted on the other side. Here we have dividing on one side, so when we bring this over, we will multiply. So this is x divided by 5. So when we bring divided by 5 over here, it becomes times 5. And then x is equal to 30. And now let's check. 30 divided by 5 equals 6. Yep. Yeah, that's it. How about that? Okay, now another thing that you can do is you can cross multiply. So let's just take a look at this. You also know that you can make any number into a fraction by going like that. Cross multiply is something you can do when you have 2 fractions separated by an equal sign. 2 fractions separated by an equal sign, you can cross multiply. We call that a proportion. When you have 2 fractions separated by an equal sign, the whole thing is called a proportion. Proportion. Okay, so how do you cross multiply? You literally multiply the numbers that are across from each other. So here you've got 3x and 1 that are across from each other. What's 3x times 1? 3x. Here you have 5 and 12 that are opposite each other on the cross. What's 5 times 12? 60. And then you know how to do this question. This is multiply. So now when you bring the 3 over, it will be divide, and 3 goes into 60 20 times. Ta-da! That's it. Yeah, that's it. Now, let's say you say, well, I don't like this method. I want to do this kind of thing with this. Okay, so let's do this over here. So here we have 3x over 5 equals 12. So I'm going to write x equals 12 because I want the 3 to come over and the 5 to come over. This is 3 times x. So when 3 comes over, it will be divide. And this is divided by 5. So when divided by 5 comes over, it'll be times. What am I doing? Divided by 5, bring it over, it becomes times, and then you solve. So what is 12 times 5? See? It's all the same. Doesn't matter. It's the same exact stuff. So whether you do it this way or whether you do it this way, you will get to the right answer as long as you don't make any silly mistakes. If you need a review of this, press rewind and watch the video again.